What's going on, everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Santoro, and today I got my main man with me, Devil John, on the mic and on the boards. John, how you doing?
Doing pretty good and feeling pretty red.
Yeah, feeling red.
Yeah, like the old Chevelle song, you know. The red is on John's face. So, yeah, no, I was volunteering and stuff, so I was out in the sun all day getting my Krabby Patties on.
Getting your Krabby Patties on. Well, I mean, Sean and Colin ain't here tonight. Sean's doing some daddy duty, hanging out with the wife, the baby JJ.
Yep,
And then, you know, Colin's just lazy because Colin doesn't like to do anything because he's a lazy person.
No, he's over there. He's over there doing work. He's usually reading our stuff and what we're ranting about.
Colin does a whole lot on the website.
Yeah,
Colin and Jess.
Yeah. Big shout outs to the people behind the scenes that have to read my writings.
So John,
actually, I felt like my last article though got did pretty well. So I don't know.
There you go.
That's just in my opinion. So go to voiceofbedlam.com and go read that because you need to go read that.
There you go. John, why don't you tell them about our first sponsor today?
All right. Well, our first sponsor is a company that is emerging as the number 2 cryptocurrency in the world. Okay. So for people that don't understand what cryptocurrency is, it's kind of like Bitcoin. All right. But this company
is way better though than Bitcoin.
This is way better. The yields are a lot more profitable. A lot more countries are being represented from China.
They have the yen now,
yeah. They just got the yen, and if you need to get secure payments and things like that for your online purchases, cryptocurrency is where it's going. And if you need more information, click the link at the bottom of your screen. That's right here, right? It's right about here for our video people. All right, it's right there.
And the link will be in the description for all our audio listeners.
Yeah, so sorry you didn't get to see my wizardly hands, audio listeners,
but I mean, why don't we get to?
Yeah, let's
get to our news.
Into our The Daily Breakdown. Oh, yes. See, no. You know what happened there? There was some Nintendo sounds in there. Nobody. Horse the band. Shout out to them. They're no longer a band, but Nintendo Core, dude. I thought that would be funny because I was like, I wanted to get into nerd rage mode because my article about the top 10 teams that are going to be used in Madden 17.
Oh, there you go. John's loving Madden, trying to get that EA Sports.
Oh, because I've been playing my whole life. I just want a little love back. If you can show me some love back, EA Sports, please.
All right, well, let's get into today's Daily Breakdown. And John, can you bring down the notes a little?
We got the NFL and the Ravens announcing on Thursday that the teams will forfeit 1 week of organized team activities between June 1st to the 3rd.
Now, both the organization and Coach John Harbaugh have been fined for violating the off-season workout rules under the CBA. Each NFL team is allowed 10 OTA sessions in the off-season. The Ravens are going to miss 3 of them, but the one thing that's good, they're still going to have all of their mandatory minicamp and training camp.
That's awesome.
Which, I mean, you need everything, especially with the new CBA, but that's definitely a little bit more important. Now, the reason they were investigating the Ravens was I guess they were doing some padded practices during rookie minicamp, which is not allowed, and they also had to cancel.
They just have the helmets, right?
Yeah, exactly. The way the CBA is set up, like everything happens in phases. You can't change dates. You can't change times. That's why it's such a big deal to teams now to have an indoor practice facility, because if it's lightning and stuff like that, it's not like they could be like, oh, we'll come back tonight. Nah. That counts as a practice. They were out on the field for a minute. That counts as a practice.
Wow.
Also, you're only allowed so many full contact practices. I forget the exact number during training camp and all that.
I get it because you don't want. They want to try to preserve these players a little bit, and I know that we're fond to say that they're not taking care of their teams.
Now, this isn't the first time this has happened to the Ravens. They had to cancel a week of workouts back in 2010 for violating similar rules. I mean, the Seahawks have fallen into this group. See, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Like, you know what? Like, yeah, get better. There should be hitting. That's what I think. And if they want to
Not-
go do it,
not
then
all
they
the
can go do
time,
it.
man.
But,
Not all the time.
yeah.
You can run through drills and things like that without.
I don't know, man.
Getting pounded up.
I don't know, dude. There's a
beat up.
lot more soft tissue injuries than there used to be.
Well, soft tissue. Like you calling these players soft serve? he's getting hood technology over here and terminology, I should say. Sorry. He's
No,
like,
but-
yeah, you soft serve, yo. Getting on them fields with your soft serve body and putting on a helmet and pads, and all of a sudden you get hurt because you're used to walking.
But I mean, the types of injuries that are happening. There's a lot more
Well-
ACLs.
Well, that's because the game, has evolved to a quicker pace, and when you have a lot of extra weight and stuff, you take a wrong turn in that ground and your foot stays, but your body moves. Psh, that at high speed. I'm sorry that you're doing a lot of damage.
I got a question for you, John.
Because
Now-
I partially tore my ACL during a lacrosse game, and that was terrible. Yeah, I was hopping off of one foot. It was terrible.
Now, we're in Easton, Pennsylvania, all right? Now, that's where Larry Holmes is from, the Easton Assassin.
Trained with him.
Now, yeah, exactly. So,
guy.
when you train for boxing,
Yeah, I did
what is
that.
sparring?
I think
What
I
is-
think I lasted though
do you
about maybe
do you
5
get
months,
into
6
the
months.
ring? Do you get into the ring?
Yeah, you train in the ring, but
Oh,
not
I know,
right
I'm-
away.
I'm being
shadow,
sarcastic.
you shadow box for a while because you got to get your skill up because you can't just go in there thinking that you're gonna in the terminology of like using a car, you're not just gonna be able to from day one be able to jump in the car and know what you're doing. That's just ridiculous to think that you can. Just
Oh, well, that's
jump
not
in
what
there.
I'm saying.
But-
But you get in there and you get in the ring and you get hit.
Yeah, but
You do.
before that, you're hitting the bags, you're hitting the speed bag, you're hitting the heavy bag, you're doing shadow boxing rounds, and you're hitting the treadmill, and you're building your cardio because your cardio and conditioning means more than your actual sparring at times. Because Mike Tyson said it best, and and anybody that's been in a fight realizes that it's the truth.
Oh, all the
Your-
cardio, yeah.
all-
Who can
all
last
your-
the longest?
All your training and all your preparation goes out the window once you get punched in the face.
But that's kind of more what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying they got to be destroying each other, but this whole there's no contact. That's why the
There's
beginning
contact.
part of
There's
the
enough
season,
contact
the
because
beginning
there's
part of the
people still
season is
getting hurt.
terrible. It looks like preseason. Week 2 looks like preseason still.
Well, that's because they're, preseason is being used more so as a, the tryouts in a sense for the team. And it's like, all right, who we're cutting? Who are we cutting? Who can perform? So a lot of, your 5th and 6th place people in the depth chart are competing for a position on the team during preseason. So yeah, week 1
Can you
and 2 is
imagine
going to
how
be
hard it
rusty
is?
for the returning veterans.
Can you imagine how hard it is to make a team as a linebacker now with a strong safety? Because you never have any opportunities to really show what you got anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't
There's a
know,
big difference
man.
between tackling a bag and tackling a running back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's you don't want to see these players getting hurt, but obviously, game type of pace, the game pace, needs to be there to be an accurate practice to me as well. I believe I kind of see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. When it has to be effective practices.
A lot of the
in a
retired
sense,
guys
but
think that
on
the
it-
injuries come because these kids aren't used to getting hit anymore.
Honestly, that's because they're sitting down in a chair right now and they're not getting hit anymore. I guarantee it. If they were, if they were out there still playing, or they went back in time in a sense when they were playing, and they were like, man, I wish coach wasn't having us hit pads all the time. I wish I had a couple days just to run drills.
Dude, when I
get
was
the
a
plays
kid,
down.
I had 3 days in the summer. When I was a kid.
Yeah, that's because we grew up.
But nowadays the pros can't.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
I understand. We grew up in a football town over here, at least.
Well, I grew up in Union, which was also a football
exactly.
town.
That's I know. I know all about your football teams over there because Passaic High for a little while was all right.
Elizabeth's always real good.
Elizabeth, yeah. I was like, man, think about I just watched this documentary. It was like a mini documentary on street football. They're doing street football leagues, they call it the Street Bowl, right? And it's street football like straight up old school backyard football, full contact guys, in New York City.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I was like, and that's and I see some of those dudes getting beat up like that, and I'm like, let's see, those are the people that would most likely side with you, and it's like, yeah, hit.
I know. I'm all about the violence.
Why even have them pads? Them pads are useless. Just let's hit.
All right.
It's like, no, but, you got to protect your people, man. And if they're going to be able, you can do more things than just hit all the time. You can do drills and get your playbooks in order, because think about how many times in a game time situation where a wide receiver or a running back has done a wrong route and caused a turnover for a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but, I mean, according to Ian Rappaport, the team was fined $343.
$343,000,
and Harbaugh personally was fined almost $140,000. Now, when he was asked about it, he said, "In some ways, maybe the rest will be good for us." Kind of the way I look at it. I told the guys I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't afford giving up our guys some time off after all 6 weeks of hard work. Maybe the good Lord is looking down and giving us what we need right now. Throwing a little sarcasm there, but I don't care. There you go. I'm all about the hit.
I like him.
Stick it to the man. Stick it to the
and
ground.
honestly,
I think it's really the union that put that in place. But
if I'm not mistaken, I had those Ravens taking a division. So,
all right. So, John, let's keep things moving along with the 4-minute hut. And what's going on with Baylor, dude? Let's jump into the NCAA real quick, because this is some big news.
4-minute hut. Sorry. I was way late. But
what about the 4-minute hut?
Well, what is it going to be on today? Because
All right, okay, we're going to put Baylor off till later.
Why?
I thought you wanted to do the 4-minute hut on Baylor.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so let's finish up the
All right. Let's finish it up then. Let's finish up the breakdown first. Because, see, I'm sorry, guys. Look at me. I'm all, like, red and sweaty. It was a hot day today. I don't know about
but I'm fine with that.
Our listeners are, and where they were. Oh, man, dude.
So we'll do the 4-minute hut on Baylor.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Well, then I guess next thing we'll get into here is some drama for them Philadelphia guys.
Yes.
Both coordinators, separate times, saying that, no, Sam Bradford is not necessarily the starter. Now, Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, said this, and he said something about it's an open competition. And basically,
it is.
I mean, on WIP-FM, they were asked if Bradford was the clear-cut number one. And they said, no, that's not possibly the right impression. I've been around this business a long time as a player and as a coach. And one of the things I've come to appreciate is not, what's that?
It's not a contradiction
Yeah.
to say you've got to have order.
All right, so now that was the offensive coordinator's cut. So he does want to put the guys, of course they want to know who their front guy is, but it was more looking like Bradford was just going to be the segue guy, but they're making it sound like it's a possibility that Carson Wentz could be starting week 1. Now, this could all be a diversion.
Because if he outperforms Sam Bradford, he's got fresher legs and not
better knees.
Yeah, better knees. Which I consider everything just as the legs, because there's a lot of moving components to your legs. But not only that, the biggest question mark is that he was a D2 quarterback. He wasn't going up against these D1 guys.
And now he's going to be in the pros. He should not be starting from day one. I think it's a smokescreen, but go ahead.
Sometimes you can get like a decent linebacker or nice lineman out of these
but
D2
not the
schools,
general.
But like I haven't, I can't name a D2.
Well, I'm not saying a quarterback can't come out of D2, but I'm saying starting day one.
And starting day one from a D2?
you shouldn't be doing that.
Like you didn't even start start day one in D1.
But as a Giants fan, I hope they do it. Now, basically, they were then they started cop and please, basically, and they said this is one of the most competitive industries in the world. To say that there's not competition, that's just the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
So I don't see the problem with creating an order of competition at the same time, personally. Every one of us uses every one of us, coaches and players, you're working harder to get better, but in the process, you have to establish order, and things have a way of working themselves out. So they're just saying really that it's a possibility, but I don't know, maybe to light the fire under Sam Bradford. I don't see how a D2 kid could start from day one.
Well, he needs to light a fire under him. He spent most of his time sitting on a bench, looking at, his players playing most of the time, because he got his knees banged up a bunch of times, and not only that, he's just been like completely,
he's a perfect coach. He's been seeing the game from the sidelines for years now.
Yeah, so if he's a quarterback coach with pads on. So basically, yeah, he's a quarterback pad. Yeah, I got like that one. That one just came out the top, guys. So, see, that's how it happens organically. But honestly, the Eagles are going to try to muster up as much attention that they can right now, because there's not really much going on in their camp that is very intimidating to any parts of the league, really. If anything, I could see most of their wins coming off of teams under-preparing for them because of who they are right now. Because they're a team of question marks.
Yeah, completely new coach, possibly new quarterback. Basically a new GM.
And I truly mean that with all due respect.
Only
and
roster.
I know usually when people say with all due respect, they say something really disrespectful. But no, I really do mean that in the most earnest of ways. That there's so many question marks with that team right now. But you know what? What else solves a lot of question marks when you're a musician?
Breezy Insane LLC.
Yes. An independent musician has so many struggles out there on the road. I know from personal experience. I know this man's had some times in the bands. How many times have you shown up to a show stanking, wishing that you had the money to freshen up, put some hair product on?
Dude, I've shown up for a show, gone out on a beer run, picked up random people on the street, and then get robbed at gunpoint before we go play.
That sounds like you needed some insurance.
And I should have got it from Breezy Insane LLC.
Yes.
Now they'll provide access to their worldwide. They'll provide you access to their worldwide promotional service with state-of-the-art marketing techniques to boost your music to new audiences, which is always the biggest thing.
Yeah,
you want to make sure everybody's hearing you. These guys can get you out in front of people. They provide mass CD production to all their clients at no additional cost.
Exactly.
So it's going to be easier on your pocket.
These guys will print the CDs. So not only are you handing out flyers at times, you can have these guys handing out CDs and things.
And when you're on the road, see, I've been on a mini tour, and that was part of the mini tour. That was one of the craziest little week periods of my life right there. Definitely could have used these guys. I mean, they'll help you out with beauty products on the road, roadside assistance. They got people working all over the place to come help you out. Focus on the music and let them take care of the challenges on the road. Check out
Breezy Insane LLC.
Let's spell that out for him, John, so they can Google
All right,
it.
yeah, that's going to be BREEZYNSANE LLC.
Go check them out, guys.
Yeah, check them out because, they're...
And if you're on the road for anything, basically, do you know what I mean? If you're a stand-up comedian or whatever else goes on tour.
Definitely.
Like if you're on the road, you're traveling a lot, you need to hit these guys up.
You're at the mercy of, not only that, you're at the mercy of the roads, the conditions, and not only that, the generosity of people coming out and supporting your art. So they definitely, but Breezy Insane seems like they're helping people, live their dreams and make their jobs actually profitable. And actually, you don't smell like a foot.
All right, well,
because I've seen some smelly bands. I've seen, and everybody that's been, hugged by a sweaty band person because you wanted to meet him and he wasn't smelling so good, next time you see them and they don't smell so good, be like, hey, you need to hit Breezy Insane so that you can get yourself defunkified.
There you go. Well, Peyton Manning
Yes.
is saying that he will not be suing Al Jazeera. Now, that's coming from that whole HGH allegation. They were the news outlet that put it out. Now,
Okay.
according to Fox Sports, former Denver Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning will not pursue a lawsuit against Al Jazeera America, which alleged on a documentary that Manning's wife received shipments of HGH in 2011. So when he was having all those neck surgeries his last year with the Colts, when they had who'd they have in at quarterback? Not Christian Ponder. Who'd the Colts have at the quarterback?
The Colts had the quarterback when
Peyton Manning had the neck injuries and he was getting all the
neck
surgeries.
injury. If it was Hasselbeck. If I'm
No,
not
he
mistaken.
went to the Giants. He was the backup for the
Hasselbeck.
Giants after that.
Can't
Can't remember his name.
Yeah, there was too many of those. Because after Luck, because Luck.
No,
took
before
over,
Luck.
before
Well,
Luck. Yeah, I
It's
know.
not that important.
It's hard because now I'm like
They finished dead last. They got
yeah.
the number one pick and grabbed
I'm
Luck.
thinking around the Luck periods now because like Peyton Manning, like I said, I don't want to disrespect the man that's at quarterback right now because they still disrespect him by calling that place still the place that Peyton built. This is mean.
Now, they're saying the reason that he's choosing not to spend the time and the money to file the lawsuit is that if they pursue it, it's going to somehow his wife, Ashley, her name's wrapped up in this a lot, and they're talking about airing her personal business then.
How are you doing
And they
today?
don't want to do that.
That's how I am.
American Express presents the
Yeah, but,
American Express. There you go. It's a nice little plug.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right, the Al Jazeera documentary cited a man named Charlie Sly who allegedly spoke to an undercover reporter working for the outlet, that being Al Jazeera America. When the documentary aired late last year, Manning just kept on denying everything. You could tell he was obviously angry, but I mean, I believe Manning, but Barry Bonds was angry too. All them baseball guys. Who was it in federal court? Just flat out, lying. But he said, what hurts me the most about this, whoever this guy is, this slapstick trying to insinuate that in 2011 when more than less had a broken neck, he's trying to say. And they're accusing to help with the healing process that he used the HGH. Now, they have no real evidence of this, and it's going nowhere, and I guess Manning's just going to let it lie.
Yeah, because you know what? If you feed the fire any type of sticks, it's gonna keep going, and I think he's just over it anyway. Because as much as I don't really like the guy, I didn't really like his because I thought there was a lot more productive players, and because of the
You just hate him because he beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl and he needed a walker.
Yeah. I'm a little upset about that. Because he needed a walker, and his defense. The
defense wins championships, my friend.
defense wins championships.
It's cliche, but
and-
that don't mean it's
and-
not true.
And not only that bonus that he gave all his players for covering his back. Yeah, well, that's what I'll call it because.
Well, if you guys want to take a getaway, we got somebody who's got your back too, and that's Angels Friendly Getaways. Our sponsor, AngelsFriendlyGetaways.com, has a great fundraiser going on right now. You get to escape to Mexico on an all-inclusive getaways, simultaneously raising funds for Autism Speaks, which is a great charitable organization for people with autism. Now, I'm sure everyone's come across people with autism. I don't know how well you've got to know some of them, but I mean, I used to teach autistic kids swimming lessons when I was a little bit younger. And I mean, they're really great kids. They're fun loving, and they could use a little bit of help. And you can give them help by
Definitely.
going on an all-inclusive trip to Mexico.
Yeah, so-
that is great. Hit up angelsfriendlygetaways.com and set it up today.
Yeah, so go to angelsfriendlygetaways.com, donate, and get yourself a chance to win that trip to Mexico.
Yep, you can get a great getaway when you donate.
You know?
If you win. All right. Now, the next big news story here. Now, I love this. Now, I did a article. It's up at voiceofbedlam.com called Who's Going to Be Under Center for the Jets. Now, I left Fitzpatrick out of it, but me and John have been screaming about Fitzpatrick since the first show.
Pretty much, yeah, because I think he's gonna be playing. Honestly, I don't think that there's gonna be any denying the fact that he's because what other teams need a quarterback right now? It seems like Cleveland's pretty sound with having RG3, and not only that, all these other players that are emerging are. I can't think of another team.
But basically, Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall are protesting, almost boycotting OTAs, and they're refusing to show up until Fitzpatrick gets signed. What does this say about Geno Smith? What does this say? Well, it doesn't really say much about Christian Hackenberg, but I mean,
well, honestly, they're in quite a dilemma, and they have to they have to figure out some things with that offense because I think Fitz is going to really be under center though, because I don't think there's going to be another team that's going to be able to afford him and at the rate that he wants to be in.
According to reports, he liked the first year of the 3-year deal that was offered to him, but he didn't like the rest. So what do you think? Do you think maybe they'll give him just a 1-year deal? Maybe they can come to an agreement on that?
Maybe. Honestly, I think that an evaluation deal, kind of like what Josh Norman was saying that he was asking for from the Carolina Panthers, in a sense, where it's a 1-year contract, and based off of the performance that the extended contract would be based off of that. And with that being said, I think that's kind of the route that Fitz might get with the Jets going into this season, but they're gonna have to do it soon because time is of the essence right now, and this is the time when these players need to start getting to know each other and getting to work on these new plays and things that are going to push them further because this is the second year for their coach, and he came out the gates taking care of that franchise, and this second year is going to be a big test to see where they've grown as an organization and as a team altogether.
Now, in my article, I make a case about Hackenberg, the second-round draft pick that the Jets picked up out of Penn State, going to be the future starter of the Jets. Now, I said Geno, taking Fitz out of the equation, Geno would start the year. Bowles would go with experience. Geno will be gone by week 4. Now, I know last year they got Bryce Petty out of Baylor. Now, I mean, Bryce Petty, he's really good on his feet, had 14 rushing touchdowns his senior year, I believe. RG3 went to Baylor. They like them mobile guys. But let's be honest, when Fitzpatrick got injured last year, and he had that thumb injury, had to have the surgery, only missed 1 week, he couldn't get the job away from Geno Smith. Geno Smith is the king of interceptions. People are boycotting showing up for OTAs because not necessarily they don't want to play with Geno, but that's kind of what they're saying. There are quarterbacks there. Now, either way, Hackenberg's probably the guy of the future, and they just need somebody to transition. Is Fitz going to get on this Jets team? Is Geno going to start week 1? Is Hackenberg going to start week 1? Is Bryce Petty even relevant?
Honestly, Geno will I still see Fitz coming back because why would you give the ball to Geno? You just eloquently called him the interception king, and I kind of would see that. Because not kind of, I do see that because I don't really consider them the Jets a contender with him under center. So with him. Then
now his rookie year, the Jets did finish 8-8, but the team basically won in spite of Geno. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
and
you.
then that stuff with IK and Polly and everything, it's just like nobody respects him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? What other quarterback in this league can you see that happening to? that someone's not going to be like, yo, like ain't nobody doing that to Tom Brady. I don't care if Tom Brady owes him $1 million. Ain't nobody doing that to Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
know.
I bet you nobody's doing that to Joe Flacco. I bet you that locker room's more organized than that. Now, the Jets have been a circus for a long time, but still.
I don't know. They're kind of like the running mill.
I thought that was going to end with Bowles, though. I really did.
Well,
but, I mean, just the fact, I know it's not his fault, but there's people boycotting OTAs. Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall, those are the two biggest players. Well, this is the second year he coached last year. Do you know what I mean? Those are the two biggest players. They're not showing up. They're not showing up because they want Fitz.
Yeah, and rightfully so. And that's why I got done saying, and I said right away, that Fitz is going to be under center because they're going to make those moves because you can't get rid of all those players and find replacements that quickly. So good luck if you really think that could happen.
Well, if you want to see Fitz play, if he ever finds himself on a team, if you want to see the Jets play or any other team, you guys got to hit up DirecTV at 855-668-9061. That's 855-668-9061. DirecTV puts you in total
so
control.
Stop complaining if you are complaining that you're not watching out-of-market games. Get DirecTV. Call 855-668-9061 today so you can get your NFL Sunday ticket.
With free installation.
With free installation and not have to worry anymore about people saying, hey, did you see that catch? Or, hey, did you see that crazy touchdown? No. You're gonna be able to watch that live.
Hit them up, DirecTV, 855-668-9061. Now, I brought this up a couple of weeks ago when Marshawn Lynch wasn't on the retirement list. Now, but there's some rumors, some gossip saying Marshawn Lynch has told ex-teammates that he might return. Now, according to Jason Cole of Bleacher Report, the former Seattle Seahawks back told two ex-teammates that he's still thinking about coming back for 2016. According to the reports, Lynch's agent believes that his client will not play. So what do you think? The agent's saying he's not going to play. They're saying there's several players that he's spoken with. Like right here, earlier this week, Richard Sherman, he wasn't totally convinced that he's seen the last days of Lynch. He said, I don't put anything past him. He is about as unpredictable as a pair of dice. So I don't try to call his plays. But obviously, it's going to be different. We got a little sample last year. I think we're prepared for this sort of thing if it is to happen.
Yeah, Rawls came out and did his thing, and honestly, Marshawn Lynch is great and all, but he's got a lot of lingering injuries. I know his back has been bothering him for quite some time, and that was back in Buffalo. So
you think Marshawn Lynch and his 9,112 yards and 74 touchdowns will get in the Hall of Fame? 10-year career. I think he will.
Yeah.
I know. Wait a second.
It's almost 1,000. It's almost 1,000 a year. Yeah.
But wait a second. The media is really who puts you in the Hall of Fame. And there's been people who they say have not made the Hall of Fame because of the way they treated some of the voters, I guess you'd call them.
Who cares? Honestly.
Oh, no, everybody wants to be in the Hall of Fame.
No, who cares? No. Who cares what the media?
Oh, well, they're the ones who vote for it, though. But they're the ones who put you in.
See, then
the writers.
No,
you know what I mean.
See, then honestly,
the AP,
and that's coming.
No, it's
from,
not the AP, but
and that's coming from somebody that writes and talks about sports. Like my opinion should not reflect the Hall of Famers going into that game. That should be a panel of former players voting on who gets in.
See, now last year,
because if you didn't play a game of football at the professional level, you should not be voting on who should be a Hall of Famer.
But that's just not how it works. It's not even the NFL Hall of Fame. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's a total different entity.
Exactly. So then, who, no. It should be a small panel or a goodly sized panel of former players that actually played pro football. And then you can, vote effectively, because that's ridiculous. Because if you're gonna keep somebody out because he refused to give you what you wanted, you sound like a toddler.
All right, well, like you said, Lynch got almost 1,000 yards every year, last year being his worst. Only played in 7 games. Career low, 417 yards, 3 touchdowns. Only played in 7 games, a lot of injuries. And, I mean, if he's going to come back, maybe he's just trying to miss OTAs, training camp. I don't know. But, I mean, Seattle would have the rights to him, so he would have to play for Seattle or to be asked to release from his contract and then maybe go play for Oakland or somebody like that.
Possibly, but he's banged up, man, from the years of football, and I'm sure that he's one of the few players that was very smart with his money, so he doesn't need to play football to make money. Everybody's like, well, why are you walking away from the money? Well, he doesn't need the money. He's one of the smart players that saved his money. I read a report that he hasn't spent a dime of his NFL career money.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was like, what? And then not only that, he was down, I think, in Africa, building houses and stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the Marshawn Lynch that nobody knows about. But so, you know what, media? Do what you do, because you can pull the wool over all these other sheepish people, but you can't pull it over me. I know who the man is. I saw his integrity. I know where to look to find his stuff. Come on, man, get out of here. If you're not going to put that man in the Hall of Fame because he said one-word answers to you in press conferences, then you might need to grow up. Because if you're not going to change the system, then you need to try to at least change your outlook on how these players go into the Hall of Fame.
All right, well, we got to cook it up next, Sean.
Well, we have to talk about this scandal. There's a scandal again in college football, guys, and it's, of the sexual assault and the sexual orientation. So it's always going to be it's a hot topic, and that's why that hot topic is in our 4-minute hut.
Oh, what?
4-minute hut.
All right, okay, all right.
Yeah, I know I prematurely 4-minute hutted earlier, but see, what happened was we are going to be talking about the Baylor suspending their coach, Art Briles, indefinitely because...
And they intend on firing
him.
him.
Well, obviously with the intent of firing him because, according to reports, last fall, the school hired Philadelphia law firm of Pepper Hamilton to conduct an independent review of its handling of sexual assault allegations.
Now, we're referencing an article from NFL.com if you guys want to go over there and check it out. But Richard Willis, chair of Baylor's board, said, "We were horrified by the extent of these acts of sexual violence on our campus. The investigation revealed the university's mishandling of reports in what should have been supportive, responsive, and caring environment for students."
Yeah, the report also stated that the depth to which these acts occurred shocked and outraged us. Our students and their families deserve more, and we have committed our full attention to improving our processes, establishing accountability, and ensuring appropriate actions are taken to support former, current, and future students.
All right, so, I mean, this has been going around for a long time. Now, let's remember here, Baylor was really terrible. They were really terrible.
Yeah, they were the other California school for a while.
And
because when you're in the state where USC is reign supreme, what?
Baylor's in Texas.
Oh, snap. I just lost it for a minute there. Yeah, see? Oh, now I just bumble.
I thought you were the college football guy.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what?
You had me thrown for a loop there for a second.
When you juggle as many, I should say you spin as many plates as I do, bands, there's going to be times that you drop a plate, all right? I'm sorry. I broke your plate, all right? I broke your plate.
Now,
you can always get a new plate.
Now, they had 12 consecutive losing seasons upon the coach's arrival in 2008. And his first 2 seasons didn't go too well, but 6 consecutive winning years for Baylor now. So, I mean, they have to let him go.
Well,
They're
honestly,
saying that the team basically tried to conduct their own investigation, aka cover-up story. That's what it seems like.
Well, yeah, because you're talking about, Texas, all right? Sorry that I slipped up. But in Texas, it is huge. Football is huge all the way from youth football being treated like pro football. And if you don't believe me, go flip on your Netflix and watch Little Tykes and watch how these coaches talk to these kids. They talk to them like it is pro football. So I'm sure that you would enjoy it because it's like old school football for you. And then you get to see little kids being yelled at and treat like, adults.
Yeah, so basically students were coming
Oh,
forward.
you don't want to comment on that one. He doesn't want to comment on that one.
I was in another world.
Yeah, he was like, nah, I don't want to comment on that. No, do you know what I'm talking about? Taifa?
No.
Taifa Football down in Texas is a youth football organization where they have like NFL, team type of, logos and going on. But these coaches are yelling and treating these kids that are
that's
like
what I had,
8
though.
and 9
It was great.
years old.
That's what I had.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah, all right.
No,
yeah.
I'm serious. My coach was the loudest coach. You could hear him parking lots away, and I loved it. It coached you up. It motivated you. If you want your kid to be soft, then don't put him in football. That's what I'm saying. No, he didn't abuse us. He yelled. He told us to get the ball, hit the hole. He was mean. He was nasty, but it was great. You messed up. You ran a lap.
Honestly,
you messed up. You sat the bench.
Go watch. I know you got Netflix, so look
Richie
it up.
Konopka. That was his name. He was the man. I played for the Union Redskins. 7 years old. First started playing tackle. Richie Konopka. Yeah, he taught me how to play football. He turned me into a mean linebacker, and he taught me to show people that I was going to hit them so hard that when they got back to the huddle, they were going to say they didn't want the ball again.
Instead of going to Shawnee and Easton's
I played
program,
for Easton, too.
I didn't want to go there. I got to play for the late, great Ed McMurtry, and he taught me a lot about the game. And he was as old school as you get. Anybody that ever shared the field with him knows exactly what I'm talking about. But that was Easton Midgets organization. So I couldn't because I was a tight end. I'd refused. All right, and I'm not even afraid to say it. I refused to go try out for Easton football because I was not going to be a glorified blocker for every run play that they ran.
Oh, 3rd and 17, run it up the middle.
Run the ball.
4th and 25,
run the ball. No, there was literally 2 pass plays, dude. I saw the playbook and I laughed and I said there was literally 2 plays and they never get called. So no, thank you. You don't get me. I'm not blocking.
But getting back over to Baylor here, so basically the coaches and the players and the staff, they started doing their own little secret investigations, and they were basically ignoring and denying the complaints and the alleged victims' right to a fair, impartial, and informed investigation. So, I mean, they're flat out breaking laws. Now, there have been charges brought up on several students. The most widely publicized case of the alleged sexual assault was the former defensive end,
Sam Akuwuchu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that. I'm sorry, buddy.
It doesn't matter. No, you ain't got to be sorry because he was convicted last August.
Ukuwuchu.
So, I mean, that's what happens. I don't really care if we say your name right and you're a rapist.
You know what I say after I hear a name like that? Gesundheit. Because seriously, like it sounds kind of like you sneezing.
Now, he was one of college football's most feared pass rushers over the past 2 years. Then he got charged
in the street
with the sexual
and in
assault.
the field, apparently.
Yeah, he got charged with the sexual assault just 2 weeks before this last draft. And, of course,
I know that
he
comment
was not
way too tsunami.
selected.
That was a way too tsunami comment there. But, honestly, it's it's deplorable the amount of things that professional athletes, celebrities get away with because, most people are so fixated on their bread and circus that they don't want to lose it, because.
Well, that's what it is with all. Not with all. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone. But to my understanding, that happens with a lot of sexual abuse cases. Basically, everybody just wants to ignore it because it's so terrible. They're like, no, that's not happening. to my daughter, or that's not happening to my sister,
You can
or
deny
we
it
don't
all
want to
you
make
want,
the family
but-
look bad. And that's not right. They need to shed light on everything so people can begin to heal. And what sucks is these students, a lot of
To
people
heal? What are you healing? All right.
No, the victims.
here's
For
the
the
deal. Here's the
victims
deal. Here's
to
the
heal.
deal, all right?
Not for the
You know, we're talking about a situation where we're all a bunch of matchbooks inside of a powder keg waiting to go off. And this is why. Because you, as, you know, a person can actively seek adult films free on any internet source that you can get to. All right?
That's ridiculous. I don't care.
Where
No.
you can see crazy extreme fantasies acted out as if in a real life setting. All right?
But they're not real life.
No,
people are
but
being paid.
but
people are consenting.
No, duh. People with brains know that, though. There's not too many people out there that know how to use their brains.
No, see now, Ted Bundy tried to say after the second time he escaped from prison, he tried to say at first that he got it from hardcore porn. But then, before he died, he said that was all a lie. And that's where a lot of that whole thing started. When Ted Bundy said that,
You know what? Honestly,
no, Ted Bundy is one of the most notorious American serial killers, especially with sex-based crimes.
there's
so
people
a lot of
out
what
there
the
that
FBI
think
handbook-
reality TV is reality.
No, but what I'm saying is,
What I'm saying is it's the same thing.
I feel like you're arguing with me, but I'm not disagreeing with
I'm not
anything you're
arguing.
saying.
I'm just saying it because I'm trying.
Well,
to,
I disagree with that somehow.
I'm trying to awaken
Pornography
these people out
has
here.
something to do. No, because the way I see it, right now, if I see a good-looking girl, right, I don't care if she's absolutely naked. It could look like a 1995 version of Pamela Anderson. All right, just because this chick's walking around bare ass naked, have the right to do anything to her whatsoever. I think that's just blaming the victim. You can't tell girls they were asking for it because they dressed slutty. No, that's not how it works.
Well, our
And I
society
think that's
already doesn't
basically-
respect women as it is because, you know, it's almost treated as an object, especially, you know, a lot of I work with people that come from different countries, usually of the third world standard, and they treat women like property. And then not only that, when they come to this country, I asked them, I was like, what's this assimilation into our culture? He's like, and most times they're saying not that much because there's, you know, the respect level is really not that much around when it comes to genders. There's not gender. There is no existence of gender equality. And the problem with saying that there's no gender equality is because there's give and take now, all right? Everybody wants to be treated as if they are normal, right? Everybody wants to be normal.
You mean
okay.
equal?
Yeah, no, we're going to say normally. All right, we'll say normally equal, all right? Because everybody wants this normal standard. Well, guess what, people? You can't be normal and get special privileges, too. Because then that doesn't make you normal, all right? You can't ask for special things.
So you're saying chivalry is dead, but chivalry is dead because women lib happen.
Honestly, you know, chivalry is dead because both genders allowed it to happen.
That's what I'm saying, because of women's lib, basically. You're
No.
saying you can't make equal wages and not have to pay the check. You're either going to
Exactly.
make equal wages and kick in on the check, or I'm going to pay for the meal and you're going to cook my dinner and watch my kids.
And especially now, our country is moving into the point where women need to go to work now. In order
Oh,
for the
absolutely.
Household,
Nobody
in order,
can survive
in order
off one
for
family,
the, for the
income.
household
I
to
do,
run.
but,
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost to a survival in this country to make sure that, you know, your household is running. You know, everybody, you know, how many times have you heard a 2-income house?
But, I mean, I want to get back over to the sexual assault. Now, I think
yeah,
the worst
because-
part of this is that these girls or whoever's, like, they were silenced because people were like, no.
Well, you're
Baylor's
talking
doing
about
great.
Texas football.
Exactly. Baylor's doing great. We don't care that you were raped. You were probably at some frat party. Da 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 da. It doesn't matter if all that's true. If she was flashing people drunk at the frat party, if she didn't want to take it any farther, taking it farther is then wrong. Now, yeah, she could have been putting herself in a better situation, but just because these girls, and some of them probably didn't even make any bad decisions, but just because they made some bad decisions, that doesn't mean they get to be raped.
See, here's the thing. How many people do you know? How many rape cases involve marijuana?
I can't recall one. I don't know where
But a
this
lot
is
of
going.
rape cases are involved with alcohol, isn't there?
Okay, yes. Hashtag legalize it. Check out our last podcast.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that people brush under the rug in general, okay? That the fact is that you can watch your gateway drug to all the illicits on television, advertised for you, brought to you by this beer sponsor, brought to you by this liquor. Drink it down, pour it down your gullet with this hot piece of, woman behind you right here, scantily, dressed for your pleasure, but drink responsibly. What? No, come on. That's what I'm saying. People are brainwashed, guys. This is ridiculous. Not only, like, I already told you guys that I'm a hardcore dude straight through and through in this heart bleeds PMA, positive mental attitude. I want to see changes. I want to see changes in things. I support women that are feminists, because you know what? Yeah, you should feel empowered. Everybody should feel empowered. But the problem is this: if everybody wants to be treated like everybody else, you can't ask for special privileges, because you're not asking to be an equal. Then you're asking for special privileges.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying there, but it's hard because it's not like we're talking about a group of three people and we want them to come to a unanimous decision.
Exactly.
There's plenty of women on the planet. Some of them want to live like it's the 50s, and some of them want to be CEOs. So it's kind of hard.
You know what? As a species, we need to come to an understanding of what is morally acceptable for treatment amongst the genders. Then, all right? Because
I think all this has kind of happened. There's so much sensitivity training and the way you can talk at work now. Like, you go back, like, you can't be telling jokes really at work anymore. Do you know what I mean? That's more of a newer thing. In the 80s, sexual harassment was pretty big with some of the receptionists.
there was a lot.
Ever watch Wolf of Wall Street, dude? Wow.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that. I watched that 3 times, actually. I think it's an interesting film. But other than the interesting fact of it, it also tells you the state of affairs and people's moral compass. And that's what everybody aspires to do. Do lots of drugs and get lots of hookers and buy Ferraris and crash them up and then buy a next one.
That was a Lamborghini, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, whatever. Ferrari, I thought it was.
I don't know. I prefer Lamborghini.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever. You substitute any foreign expensive car and go crash it up with no worries, because you'll just buy another one. Honestly, that's the problem. We want to live live in a democracy, but we have a capitalist system in place. It's as close to fascism that you can get when you are in capitalism. If you don't believe me, by all means, you ignorant piece of people, you can go read it up yourself, all right? But we don't live in a democracy too much anymore. The corporations have more say in what goes on than you do.
The rich get richer.
Exactly. And then, and I'm not saying this stuff just because, to make you feel like I'm getting off topic, because I'm bringing it right back around. We need to change the way that we think in order to change these social problems. If we don't change what the problem is, we will keep seeing this trend continue and continue. If you don't hit the hammer down on these celebrities, which includes these athletes, then you're not setting the example of everybody gets treated like this.
Now, I refuse to believe.
I know everybody's gonna come at me and say, "Oh, well, you should just go, with your commie thoughts." But you know what? Honestly, it's called Marxist thought. So educate yourself.
But basically, I mean, at least now Baylor seems to be like they're doing the right thing. I refuse to believe that no one outside of the football organization knew what was going on. But it seems like they're trying to get back on the right foot now. They did launch an independent investigation to try and get to the bottom of it.
Because they saw what happened to Penn State.
Yes, exactly. They did They did
which was
suspend the
messed
coach,
up for
and
Joe Pa,
he
sorry.
will probably be fired.
Yeah, but, honestly, people, we need to change the way that we're thinking about the respect level of all of our genders, because nobody is better than anybody else. I'm sorry. I know capitalism has taught you that you need to, compete with each other, but honestly, we need to be competing with each other to make this place a little bit better, because with all the stuff that we have available, we are living in gluttony in this country. All right? We have a very thwarted sense of what is needed and what is wanted. We have a lot more wants than we could ever want. And you know what? Our needs are usually met, and we always confuse it so that we keep feeding
Everybody wants to
into it.
live beyond their means.
Exactly. And that's the problem, but you people, let's focus on what really matters, all right? Instead of sending all these glaring, hateful stares at each other, because everybody always hates on what people wear. I see it a lot. People are like, oh, well, F that person because they got them new J's that are $324. And it's like, man, I just say, you're an idiot because you're walking around in $325 shoes, and I'm going to watch you trip on this curb and scuff the heck out of them. And I'm going to laugh.
Not me. I wear my Doc Martens 365 days a year since I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, I actually do, yeah. I do remember you wearing Docs.
Oh, that's all I've ever worn.
I couldn't wear them because of the way the arches are in my feet. I don't like them. So, and I even tried to put the inserts in them, and they just don't feel
Nah,
good.
they got to be flat and hard.
Yeah,
You got to feel everything just like Chuck's.
Yeah, I can't do that. I need that little arch. I have a high arch, man. I can't deal with that. I gotta have some support, but.
All right, everybody. That's all the time we got for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Our 4-minute huts have been getting real deep. Deep political issues.
Well, I told you, I've said it that, I'm PMA, so I'm a hardcore dude that, and honestly, if we're not feeding our minds and trying to understand what's going on around us, then what are we doing?
Absolutely.
But I also enjoy my foosball.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the off season, but we'll just keep going along through the whole off season until we finally get to some real football action. It's going to be a fun summer, though. We're going to be doing some live at the bar shows, live at training camps. So make sure you guys stick around, hit that subscribe button, check out voiceofbedlam.com, hit us up Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're everywhere. We will catch you guys next Tuesday.
Yes. Read my article about the Titans running back situation, because I think they just went from worst to first. Read it at voiceofbedlam.com.
Teaser. Voiceofbedlam.com. For John, I'm Andrew Bedlam, and we're out of here.